Hello everyone, this is Prakash and today I'm going to be describing what we learned in week 4 during our lecture and tutorial class. Um, Moving on, so we learn about requirements engineering, also known as requirements gathering, on which we mostly learned about elicitation, analysis, prototyping, documentation, testing, and review. We also learned why the documentation is completely needed or clearly needed in requirements engineering. We also learned about the six dimension of detailed elicitation, which was individual functionality, business flow, data and information needs, and so on, such as user interfaces and so on. um, we also learned why we need to categorize, analyze requirements. We also checked the consistency and completeness. We also learned about the requirements prioritization, such as we learned that so that the customer needs and market conditions won't completely affect that, and we complete the software that is completely productive as well. We also learned about AHP pair comparison, which was used for checking or calculating the requirement priority levels, and the certain percentage needs to be nearly around 100 percentage. um, we also learned about the formal requirement specifications and why sign off is important during the locks, um, during the two during the lock of scope. um, and moving on to next, um, how this all will affect my software engineering project that I'm going to be making in future. So let's go on to it. So while creating a software which is completely productive, meets the users or the stakeholder needs, um, um, there need to be the proper requirement gathering. And if we don't gather a complete information from the user or even the stakeholders, we might not develop a software that is completely needed by a user or as per the stakeholders demand. um, so this lecture helps me to collect the complete and accurate requirements that is needed for my software development before, and this also helps the users from designing the system. Moving on to next, we learned about six dimensions model that ensures we don't miss any key details such as data needs, interfaces, or constraints. So this will also help me in designing a software that is needed by the particular community of users or as per the demand of the stakeholders. um, Talking about prioritization, this is one of the most important concepts that I learned during the lecture. Prioritization helps me to know which process should be done at first and which needs to be done at the last, cause prioritization can be measured using AHP. um, and then moving on to next, the documentation phase that we learned during class will help me a lot. Making a proper documentations helps me and other users to understand the specific problems that was tackled during the development of a software. um, so if there is clear requirements, specification, documentations, then each and every one from the stakeholders, users, and the developers, each one will have a proper kind of map or blueprint of the whole project, so it's going to be easy for everyone to understand. We also learned about, I forgot to mention that part, but we learned about entity relationship diagrams, um, such, and then a lot of other designs that is used during a software development process, where there was actors, a kind of different relationships among the entities, input, process, output, and so on. So this all will help me to develop a complete package of software, and I'll be able to understand what kind of requirements is demanded by the user, stakeholders, or the customers, whoever they are. um, and this all makes the overall project more structured, reliable, and manageable. Thank you.